February the 15th. The time is 12 p.m. And we're going to go ahead and start with a roll call. Here. 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 Present. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Luis. Thank you.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for the inspiration you give us to dream and to set goals. We submit each and every goal to you. May our goals reflect your will and may they glorify you. Please equip us with the needs to reach our desires and fill us with your awesome purpose to carry out what we set out to do. Amen.
We'll continue with line item 2, which is the Director's Administrative Report with A, crossings and revenues for January 2023.
Good afternoon, Chairman, board members, city officials. For the record, Pharr Brown, Director of Operations at the Pharr Bridge. I'd like to present the crossings and revenues for the month of January, fiscal year 2022-2023. On page number 3, we have the southbound car crossings for the month of January. We crossed a total of 50,266 cars, which represents an increase of 14,234, or an increase of 39.50%. I'd like to also present the crossings from other ports of entry. You see all ports of entry have an increase on cars. We have Bronzeville, the 3 bridges, we had an increase of 68,809, 30% increase. Eagle Pass, an increase of 29,205, 50% increase. Laredo, an increase of 52,493, 60% increase. McAllen and Salduas, an increase of both bridges, 60,024 cars, 21% increase. Progreso Bridge, they had an increase of 5,689, an increase of 14.45%. Donna Bridge, they had an increase of 16,720, an increase of 41.31%. And the Pharr Bridge again, an increase of 14,234, an increase of 39.50%. Page number 4, we have the southbound truck crossings. These are trucks that are traveling from U.S. to Mexico through the Pharr Bridge. For the month of January, we crossed a total of 65,159 crossings trucks, which represents a decrease of 1,314, a decrease of 1.98% for the month of January. Also, I'd like to present the crossings from other ports of entry. So trucks that are traveling from U.S. to Mexico. We have Veterans, Los Tomates, an increase of 1,659, 8% increase. Free Trade Los Indios, an increase of 47 crossings, 5%. Combination of both bridges, an increase of 1,706, or an increase of 8%. Eagle Pass, an increase of 1,372, 9% increase. Laredo Bridge, an increase of 19,661, an increase of 9%. Pharr Bridge, again, a decrease of 1,314, which represents a decrease of 2%. Progreso Bridge, they had a decrease of 746 trucks, a decrease of 16%. And Saldua, they had an increase of 549 crossings, an increase of 27%. I do like to mention, Chairman, that for the past 2 months, we have seen an increase on the 6 axles. November, December, we crossed a total of 3,500 to 4,000. November, 3,000. December, we crossed an average of 4,000 crossings on the 6 axles. January, we went up to all the way to 7,000. This month, we average so far for the first 15 days, an average of 3,000 crossings for the month, for the first 15 days. So if we stay like this, we will see an increase on the 6 axle. There's some incident that happened today. Would like to discuss an executive session as to it might affect those crossings. So we will discuss that in the executive session. Chairman, if you allow me.
6 axles are the fuel?
Mostly 90, I'm gonna say 95% of gas and oil. Yes, sir. Mhm. Page number 5, we have the northbound. These are trucks that are traveling from Mexico to the U.S. For the month of January, we crossed a total of 60,392 crossings, which represents an increase of 2,953, or an increase of 5.14%. 5.14%. On the agriculture side, the Pharr International Bridge total 21,284 crossings for the month of January, representing 35% of all the imports that are coming from Mexico to the U.S. As well, on the agriculture side, the Pharr International Bridge import lots show an increase of 9 crossings more than last year, same month, or an increase of 0.4% compared to fiscal year 21-22. On page number 6, we have the combination of both. These are southbound and northbound crossings. For the month of January, we crossed a total of 125,551 crossings, representing an increase of 1,639, or an increase of 1.32%. Page number 7, we have the revenues. Total revenue collected for the month of January, we collected a total of $1,553,154, representing an increase of $56,821, or an increase of 3.80%. Overall, from October to January, we collected a total of $6,031,852, which represents an increase of $162,086, or an increase of 2.76%. On page number 8, we have the crossings by axles. For the month of January, we crossed a total of 50,266 cars, 2 axles, 2,888, 3 axles, 4,342, 4 axles, 1,152, 5 axles, 49,160, 6 axles, 7,431. Mobile homes, we crossed 3. Wide loads, 140. Special crossings, 43, which represents the total crossings of 115,425 crossings. Chairman, that's conclude my reports. If you have any questions,
Do you have any questions?
thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Yes, sir.
We'll continue with the finance report for December 2022. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, city administrators, for the record, Luis Bazan, we do have Carla Saavedra, our city finance director, to answer any specific questions, but today we will have Eddie Gutierrez give the financial report for the bridge.
Good afternoon, board members. For the record, Eddie Gutierrez with Bluestone Capital Solutions, a consultant for the city of Pharr, for the bridge international, Pharr International Bridge, excuse me. Yes, I'll be working with Carla and teaming up with Carla on the financials and helping assist her and teaming up with her also on presenting the financials. So right now we're presenting for the first quarter, which is for first quarter of 2023, which is dated 12/31 of 2022. If you see the first slide there, the first slide presents the total collections. You'll have the budgeted for 2023 for the first quarter, and then you have the actual. When we compare the actual against the actual of 2022, we're actually had a decrease of 2% for this particular same period. On the other side, you see the total expenses. Obviously, the total expenses you see the transfer out, that's the highest expense that we have. Overall, though, it's $3,691,000. And so we have revenues over expenses of over $1 million. Focusing in on the other slide, you're going to have, just focusing in on the revenues, you have 90% of the revenues consist of toll fees that we collect. And then the other 8% consist of, the 353 consist of interest earned from the cash of the bonds. And then the other 4% is split evenly between the rental income and also pesos and other items that come in there. And then focusing on the other slide, that focuses in on budgeted expenses to what actually happened through the first quarter. As you can see on the insurance is probably the highest one you see there because we're at 131%. So that was probably paid at the beginning of the year, Carlos? Yeah, that was a one-time payment that was done at the beginning of the year. Overall, though, we're at 19.3%, so we're still below budget when we're looking at the overall budget. So we still have quite a bit remaining in there of the budget. We have about 81% still remaining in there. The following slide, Luis, you'll see, you see Fred's numbers already. Fred already talked about the crossings. This is the crossings as of December 22. Probably this slide will be combining with some of Fred's report. So we still have some time to revise for the next meeting and probably focus in on combining part of this report. And then the last one here that you'll see is going to be just you want to go? Yeah, this one just focuses in on the bond, the $53 million that we have. 30% of that is for the bridge expansion, and then the other 70% is for the DAP 15 and DAP 16. So we've been asked to present this. So this is the other one. Okay. It's the other way around? Okay. Okay. Apologize for that. So 70% is the bridge expansion, and then 30% is a DAP 15 and DAP 16 on that. So we'll make that correction for the record. Any questions on the financial report?
You mentioned something about insurance of the front payment was what the insurance we're looking at, Eddie.
That was probably TML. Yeah.
Okay, but that's more for liability or what? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
No.
How often in advance do we prepare this report? Is it the first time you guys are doing it together, or?
This is the first time, and I think, Carla, you're shorthanded right now with your team. So I'm assisting on that. So this came I think we got it last week. So we'll have more time the following month to expand on
Should we
this.
expect this moving forward?
I think so. Yes.
Hold the button down.
Sorry, I apologize for that. These things, they need to be revised by media or IT or something. I would just like to add that, yes, this is the first time that we're doing this. Right now, we usually in the February meeting, I would preferably would like to present the month before, but we would like to do it monthly and also a more comprehensive quarterly report.
Yeah.
And again, this is the first time that me and Eddie are working together. What I would like to do is also incorporate some of Fred's information so that you can see a bigger picture or a more graphic on the numbers, but also the crossings, because it's, just to have like a whole comprehensive report. But we will be working together and improving this report, and whatever you feel that we need to add, we will add.
Thank you, Carla.
The only thing that comes to mind, I don't know, Luis, Fred, is if we could add a recapture rate each month. I know it's important that we watch it. Maybe we can track that quarterly, monthly, annually, but
Yeah, we have that. Yeah, we can add that. Thank you.
If there's no more questions, thank you very much, Eddie.
Thank
thank
you.
you, Eddie.
Do you have anything else in finance, Luis?
No, sir.
All right, we'll go ahead and move to the engineer's report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, city administrators, we do have Maria here from city engineers or assistant city engineer to give you a report on all the projects that are taking place at the Pharr Bridge.
Good afternoon, Bridge Board. Maria Rangel, Assistant City Engineer for the record. Here I have the presentation. So the FY15, starting there, we are 98% complete. Here on the picture, you can see the northbound lane expansion. We've installed the traffic signal devices, which is, you can see the red and the green there, and then the floodlights as well. Next slide. Also, at the primary canopy on the northbound lane expansion, they've installed the metal stud framings for the louvers and the metal panels on top of the inspection booths. So this is happening at the primary canopy and also at the second BSIF booths there. So at both locations, but I'm just showing one of the locations here. Overall, second BSIF exit, the communication cables, those have been pulled. Next slide. And we've also accomplished installation of the water meter and the 2-inch water line at the second BSIF exit. The last slide for this location is the installation of the electrical meter box, the wire, and the dry type transformer. And then I do want to mention that on January 25th, we had a preliminary punch list walkthrough with the contractor. And right now, the contractor is working on those punch list items. One of those is the grinding of the rough concrete pavement surface on the northbound lanes. And next slide. And the contractor has also been working on removing the original construction joint sealant and installing a new sealant. Next slide. Right now, in terms of time, we are at 126% for the northbound lane expansion, and place to date, we're at 98%. Upcoming activities on February 22nd of this year, we will have the final punch list walkthrough with all stakeholders. And we estimate March 15th for project completion to happen. So that's completion of all the punch list items.
Real quick, Maria, you anticipate they're gonna be done by the 22nd, substantially complete, except for the generator?
Correct. Yeah, that excludes the generator and the automatic transfer switch.
22nd of February? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yes. This is the next slide, the second BSIF exit, same for upcoming activity. This project for time is at 95% and place to date is at 92%. And we do have for the FY15, we did approve a work change directive. So the contractor will also be working on that, which includes sodding, drain line for the AC units, and some equipment for the RPM lanes. And now moving on to DAP 16. The one big thing that we did happen recently on the 13th is that TxDOT gave us the green light to proceed with the tip revision so that we could add $4 million from the commercial vehicle staging project to this project, to FY16. So that was something that happened recently, and we'll be doing the administrative work the next few days to get that process completed. Next slide. For the international bridge expansion, the big thing that happened is that we submitted 100% plan specifications and estimates to TxDOT. That happened on February 6th. The next step is that our consultant will be submitting a draft environmental assessment document to the FHWA and TxDOT. So the difference between this EA and the previous one that was submitted is that this EA will include the terrestrial and underwater studies report that was recently completed by the subconsultant. So we'll be including that in the draft EA. So those were the last couple of reports that were needed to complete the document. Going to the recent activity, like I mentioned, on the 6th, we did submit 100% PS&E. Also this month, the reports were completed and approved by the Texas Historic Commission and the IBWC. And then also this month is the IBWC and SELA, they signed the conceptual drawing. So that's something that we were waiting on for a while for the commissioners to sign that document. On the schedule, the next big item is coming up September 4th. That's the expected ready to let date. So we'll be working towards that next. Are there any questions? Thank you
Any
very
questions?
much. Thank you for your
Maria.
time and have an
Thank you.
excellent day.
Thank you.
If I may add, Mr. Chairman, members of the board and city administrators, on that IBWC SELA commissioner signature, that's something that, if you don't have that, and this was discussed recently, a couple of weeks ago at the Border Trade Advisory Committee meeting in Austin, which we attended, and it was brought up for discussion because I think we have to understand that if you don't have that signature, that's a major milestone in this project, regardless of where we sit with the environmental assessment or environmental clearance. It's a huge milestone because if you don't have that signature between both commissioners and both sides, you cannot construct an international bridge over boundaries and water boundaries. So it's a huge step in the right direction. We still got a ways to go. But one of the things that we're working on now because of that, now we're going to be hosting a binational briefing and groundbreaking ceremony here in next month. And I'll release more information as it gets closer, but we're already coordinating internally with the city as well to have an event there at the Pharr Bridge. So I'll be releasing some of that information as we get closer, as I mentioned, but it was important to state that.
Do you have any other questions? On the entry booths, I know they're gonna be done by the end of the month, are they gonna be able to be placed in use, or are they still gonna?
Not yet, not the exits, because the BSIF, as we know, the Border Safety Inspection Facility, which is the TxDOT project, which was the original gate-to-gate connector, on DAT 15, it's known as the second BSIF connector. That won't be complete and fully done until May of this year. Yeah, we reached out to TxDOT a couple weeks ago because some of our investors were interested in finding out how soon that was going to take place, so they could start doing their work as well and building out some of the projects that they have in the pipeline. And that is the month that they gave us, May of 2023, to open that second BSIF exit.
And the entrance booths?
The entrance booths will be done by the 15th. Project completion will be done by the 15th of March.
But will they start being used?
Yes, yes, absolutely, yes. Obviously, it's going to take some coordination with CBP, but we've been waiting for it. I mean, we're over 2 years in the making, so we need to start using them. With that in itself, once you add the exits, that should increase our capacity by about 30%, just with those two lanes. 30%, yeah, leading into the import lot.
I just wanna, well, go ahead.
A few weeks ago, called me some company from trucking companies in Reynosa about the going out on the import lot.
Okay.
Going out, some problems on the
Pavement.
the concrete broken, or some kind of issues.
Yes,
I
we've had
told
those
Fred
issues
about
for a while now. And as a matter of fact, we have another meeting coming up on Friday with Half Associates. They actually developed our pavement plan, or our long range maintenance plan. And but what we did temporarily, we had our Public Works Department from the city go in there and fix it for the time being. One of the things that we had stressed back then was if GSA had the funding, because it is the port, it does belong to the General Services Administration. If they had the funding, it's not in the ranking, it's not a priority bridge for GSA, and they don't have the funding in place. So obviously that needs to come from somewhere else.
So it's been fixed by public.
For now, it's a temporary fix, or as I hate to call it a Band-Aid, but that's what it is for now. And it was done by Public Works, and that was done last week.
I don't know if that's a question for executive, but can it be added to any of our projects?
What's that?
The repair?
Sure. So right now, we're looking for letters of support for a grant, for a specific grant that we're seeking.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? No. We'll go ahead and move to the director's report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, city administrators, I do have a couple of items that I would like to discuss further in detail in executive session. But for the meantime, I do have 4 things that I would like to bring up here. So the first one is, as you all are aware, last meeting we had, the board approved to move forward with our strategic plan with Texas Manufacturers Assistance Center with UTRGV. We had our kickoff meeting last week here at City Hall. Our interim city manager joined us for the meeting, and we were able to discuss a few things. And we're going to start meeting weekly, except for this week because we had mandatory training for the city. But we are going to start meeting weekly, and we have action items per week. Right now, the action items are, to develop questions for our stakeholders, come up with a list of stakeholders, which actually includes obviously the mayor, the city commission, and the bridge board of directors, but also to develop questions for a survey. Moving forward, we will have action items every week that we have to complete, and the completion date should be by the end of May of this year for our strategic plan. So we're looking forward to that. As we keep moving forward, we will be calling on the board members and the different stakeholders to accompany us and to be a part of the meetings to further plan. And again, I'll discuss a little bit more on that in executive session, because one of the things, it's perfect timing right now because the city has launched a sustainability platform. I don't have a lot of information on that. I just know that right now, just at a glance, the Pharr Bridge is already meeting 11 of those 17 sustainability platform goals. So we're excited about that moving forward. Also, some other initiatives that we have more specifically on the new business attraction, new market share and things of that nature. Just to share some digits, and even though it doesn't compare, because it's just the Long Beach port. Some of the things that they're seeing is a shift in consumer behavior, a shift in trade, as we've been discussing. So they've seen a decline. This is at the seaport level. Obviously, that also ties in to a lot of the transportation issues and the logistical issues we've been seeing. But we have some plans for the future to capture new market share. And again, we'll discuss that more in executive session. But some of the things we're also working on, aside from the projects that we're building for new imports and exports, is basically we're putting together what we call the Industrial Warehouse Summit. So this is something we looked at last year. We read a story where there's a lack of warehouses. Everybody in the business knows there's not enough warehouse to go around, not enough square feet. So we're launching this summit through the Pharr Bridge and our partners, external partners as well. And it's going to become a series. We plan to kick this off in April after further planning. We've been planning it for the past 4 months. Eddie's been taking the lead on this. And the end result of this is, of course, to line things up with our economic development, with our development services, with our city departments that can help us, again, become that pro-business institution, become that pro-business organization that'll help retain the businesses that we have, but also attract new business development for the city, which will obviously garner more crossings and revenues for the bridge. The other thing is, and I think Tony might be familiar with this, is the Pharr Motor Carrier Association. So when we met with the Texas Trucking Association last year here in Texas, we decided to invite the chairman of the board, the incoming chair, and we've been also working on that for the past several months to develop our own motor carrier association here. So obviously, again, these are just efforts to gain more traction, to attract more market share and more business through this city. And then the last, two more. I mentioned the milestone already with IBWC and SILA. And then the next one is the students that you see here and the professors or the teachers that you see here are from Vanguard Rembrandt Secondary School. About 2 weeks ago, I met with Mr. Perez, and he'll be coming up in a few minutes to say a few things. We met and we were discussing, projects for the future. What can we get our students in line with? Is the bridge working on specific projects or things that they could work on, real world issues and real world solutions? I automatically thought about the sustainability platform because that's what it is. You're building today, you're creating today to be ready for tomorrow so that tomorrow's generation doesn't have to struggle like we did, right? Or our forefathers. So with that, I'd like to invite Mr. Ray Perez. Actually, maybe just say the name. So Mr. Ray Perez is the person I've been meeting with. He's also involved greatly with our Economic Development Corporation here in Pharr, Mr. Ernesto Alvarez, and then we have Gerardo Flores. And then the students that we have up here, and you can just raise your hand: Leah Rodriguez, Lauren Flores, Karina Aguilera, Emiliano Mendez, Diego Rincon, and then the professor. So again, I'd like to call Mr. Unless you have any questions for me, we'd like to call him to say a few things, and then they'll say a few things themselves.
Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Welcome.
Good afternoon, board. Ray Perez. I'm a professor for Vanguard Academy in South Texas College, and I'm at the advisor for my students here. Mr. Flores is lead actually on the project. It's a capstone project that I believe really gives the students who are the stakeholders of Pharr, an opportunity to know what the city's doing, what the bridge is doing, what the community is doing. It's building a bridge for tomorrow. So we wanted to have them participate in different projects that, take you in, but at the same time see the policymakers that make the policies for tomorrow. I don't think they have ever been to a board meeting where you discuss different things. Obviously, you have the back room where you discuss the executive session, things that will happen in the future, but it's always for the future of the city of Pharr. And our students here are my college students at the same time, and so we're giving them some projects that will be actually authentic research, where they have to go in and cite and do these wonderful things, interviewing, quantitative, qualitative, so that when they present a project, it's not just a trifold, but they have the experience, they can talk about it, and hopefully one day they can aspire to lead the bridge or to be part of the board also. These are tomorrow's future. And they're just an amazing group of students that I have that if you tell them this is where we want you to go, they'll give you multiple answers to find a solution to a problem. And if they see a problem, it is not a problem, but an opportunity to do something better. So hopefully by looking at the logistics, how you connect to Homeland Security, international trade, the border wall, the tollways, the transportation, all the people that fit into the big picture, hopefully they find a topic that interests them, but at the same time that we can probably present back to you, and we will present back to you on what they find. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Flores here. He's our project leader and our principal. Thank you.
Mr. Pettis.
Thank you, Ray.
Hey, Mr. Pettis.
Good morning, Board. My name is Gerardo Flores. I'm the assistant principal at Vanguard Academy, Remmer Secondary, and I'm very thankful that you gave us the opportunity to be here. As I mentioned by Mr. Pettis, this is an initiative to where we want to take our kids to the next level of academic research. One of the parameters is that it needs to have empirical data, it needs to have quantitative, but also qualitative, and it must contain academic journals. So we want to take these kids. I know they can read a book. I know they can do a trifold, but that's not the point. What we want to provide is an authentic problem, and provide that authentic problem with a real solution, an authentic solution. We took the liberty to take at your website, the city of Pharr, and I see, but perhaps maybe a problem. I see plenty of solutions that are positive, and that's where these kids come in. We would like for these kids to analyze something that is, again, authentically genuine and provide you a unique and authentic solution. I don't know what they're going to be interested in, but it's something like a mini dissertation on doctoral degree. We should have no doubt all of these kids have the capacity to be there. So again, thank you for allowing us to be here. This is the first time they've been in a board meeting. Pardon us if we're a little bit not in court, but thank you again for the opportunity. We will not disappoint. One of our directors, Dr. Alvarez Clay, may have a few words also to further prolong what I just discussed.
Members of the board, City of Pharr officials, good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate the opportunity, not much to add. This is a Vanguard project. It is an ambitious project, but in the end, we think that that's where the future of education has to go to. All this knowledge has to be used to solve the problems that we have today and the problems that we may have tomorrow, right? So these young students will be conducting research thanks to your openness and opportunity that we have. So again, appreciate the opportunity, and in whatever we can help for our community, we have to build it together. And we know that Vanguard knows that it's in our DNA. So appreciate it again. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, students, for being here. We do have quite a bit of projects that we've been working on, so we know we're going to get to work and we're going to do something good. Just real quick, some housekeeping on some upcoming events that we have. As we know, Bridge Connect has continued throughout the year since 2014, still going strong. The next one is the update on foreign supplier verification program trends. This is Wednesday, February the 2nd at 10 a.m. And some of the topics: avoiding warning letters, meeting compliance, real solutions that have worked for importers, what to do about on-site verifications, etc. So if you're interested, please let us know. The emails are on there. You can reach out to Vanessa Guzman or Freddy Flores and sign up. Then the next one that we have coming up, I don't think it's going to be on there, but I have it in here. I mentioned it, the Pharr Motor Carrier Association. So 2023 Pharr Motor Carrier Association, TXTA Pharr chapter meeting. So this is going to be the first of its kind. And this is scheduled for the 2nd of March at 11:30 a.m. I believe Freddie already has the folks. We have a list of the people that have confirmed and committed to this first meeting. As we continue to learn more and move forward, we will be inviting more folks to participate in this. But right now, also the whole thing with this is, as I like to say, new blood. Getting more folks that we have not been in contact with or have not really been meeting with from other industries, from other associations, other people that might be involved in transportation and logistics, customs brokerage, etc. We want to make sure that we're meeting with them to, again, just garner new ideas and more solutions going forward. It seems today's topic, is solutions. So that's what we're looking for. So again, save the date, March 2nd, TXTA Pharr chapter meeting for the future Pharr Motor Carrier Association. And we have a couple of other things. We have Produce Accounting Class 101. That's something else we're going to be doing in April through Bridge Connect. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the Industrial Warehouse Summit, which is April the 20th. That'll be the kickoff, and it'll become a series maybe every 2 to 3 months after that.
you have any questions? Good. Thank you, Bangor Academy, for coming. We're gonna go ahead and go to executive session. In accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Section .071 to .087, the Pharr International Bridge Board hereby gives notice that it will now meet in a closed executive session to discuss the items listed in the public portion of the meeting agenda. The time now is 12:35 p.m.
Real quick, as the board gets up to go into executive, they wanted to see if we could take a picture with the students up here,
Okay.
please.
One further down, there you go. That's a good idea.
Close.
The time is 1:28 p.m. and we're back from executive session.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, city administrators, I just wanted to bring something up real quick on next month's meeting. I'm not sure what everybody's schedule looks like. I know some people are out that week of the 15th, the 13th through the 17th. So if it's still good for you, for everybody here, for the majority, we will, Monday, we will keep the same date. If not, we will move it. Igual?
I mean, I don't think so.
¿No ir a la playa?
Allá hacemos la junta.
I like the way you think.
Second.
I second.
Emotion.
No es mala idea. Oílos, no, para eso sí están. All right, we're good. You're
I'll
good
be here.
for-
I'll be here if you
We're,
guys are.
we're good. Yeah.
I'll be here too.
As far as I know, me too.
Okay. Good enough.
No more in directors, Luis?
Just one item for the administrative.
Okay, which is 2, line item A, approval of minutes for January 18th, 2023. We need a motion.
Motion.
A motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Hernandez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Then we have line item B, discussion and action, if any, on 2023 Index Reynosa membership renewal for 1814 with 40 cents. We need a motion for that. We need we have a motion, Mr. Veas,
Second, me.
second by Mr. Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. So now we just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
A motion by Mr. Martinez. Second by Mr. Campero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you all.